Chanakya, the mastermind who built an empire. A long time ago in ancient India, there was a man who had no army, no money, and no official power. Yet, he managed to change the course of history forever. His name was Chanakya. He wasn't born into royalty, and he definitely wasn't known for his looks. In fact, most people just brushed him off. But what they didn't see was that he had the sharpest mind of his generation. From the time he was a kid, Chanakya was incredibly bright. He dove deep into his studies and eventually became a top-tier professor at the prestigious University of Takshashila. Students traveled from all over the world just to hear him speak. When it came to politics, economics, and strategy, he was in a league of his own. But his entire life flipped because of one moment, one massive insult. Chanakya traveled to the court of King Nanda, the ruler of Magadha, thinking his expertise could help strengthen the kingdom. Instead, the king humiliated him. In front of the entire court, Chanakya was mocked and kicked out. They made fun of how he looked and completely ignored his wisdom. That was the turning point. Chanakya untied his hair and made a vow. He wouldn't tie it back until he had wiped the Nanda dynasty off the map. Now, Chanakya wasn't a soldier. He didn't believe in winning through brute force alone. He believed in strategy. He knew that if he wanted to take down a king, he needed to build one from scratch. During his travels, he crossed paths with a young boy named Chandragupta. The kid was poor, but you could see the fire in his eyes. Chanakya saw something special in him, a raw potential. He decided to take him under his wing. For years, Chanakya mentored Chandragupta in everything: warfare, leadership, and high-stakes politics. But his most important lesson was teaching the boy how to think. He taught him that true victory isn't won with muscles, it's won with brains. Slowly but surely, they started building their power base. It wasn't just about recruiting soldiers, it was about gathering intelligence. Chanakya set up a massive spy network. His agents were everywhere, in the markets, inside the palaces, and even tucked away in enemy camps. They brought back secrets, highlighted weaknesses, and mapped out plans. Chanakya knew that in any fight, information is the ultimate weapon. With meticulous planning and a whole lot of patience, they finally made their move. Chandragupta, with Chanakya calling the shots, launched an attack on the Nanda kingdom. It was a brutal fight, but Chanakya's strategies played out perfectly. Step by step, they dismantled the enemy's defenses. In the end, King Nanda was defeated. The mighty Nanda dynasty collapsed, and Chandragupta Maurya took the throne. This was the birth of the Maurya Empire, one of the most powerful empires in Indian history. Even though Chandragupta wore the crown, everyone knew who the real power was behind the scenes. Chanakya didn't want to be king. He was perfectly happy being the advisor and the mastermind. Later, Chanakya wrote a book called The Arthashastra. This wasn't just some textbook. It was the ultimate playbook for running a country. It covered everything from managing wealth and handling enemies to building alliances and national security. Even today, people in politics, business, and leadership still study his ideas. Chanakya's philosophy was simple. A leader has to be wise, alert, and sometimes even ruthless for the greater good. He taught that being too honest can actually be a liability, that you have to protect your secrets, and that timing is everything. His advice was practical, occasionally harsh, but always effective. The details of how Chanakya died are a bit of a mystery.
Some say he retired peacefully. Others think he was caught up in palace drama. But one thing is for sure, his legacy never faded.